Hello everyone, Krydex here, and welcome back to pyanodon's Season 3. Do you ever just have one of those moments where you're like, this is nice. I'm sitting here, I've got my coffee, I fired up Factorio, and I'm just thinking, you know, life is pretty good. There are all kinds of things that aren't good. I could complain all day long if I really wanted to. There are plenty of things on that list. But for now, I'm not going to. I'm going to enjoy pyanodons, and I hope you, whatever it is you're doing today, can find something to kind of latch onto and enjoy and just vibe with and have a great day. Maybe we can both have great days. All right, so that being said, motivational speech over. We're gonna move into hopefully finishing this grenade today. It's taking way longer than I thought because we use so many seeds. I mean, didn't I do the math? I thought it was only like 30% or something, but it feels like it's more. So for every... Numbers are hard to translate. But basically, if I make 8 Renea, it costs us 8 seeds. But let's just say if I make 7 Renea, it costs us 7 seeds, which costs us 4 Renea, which means I only made 3 Renea net out of the 7. So only 3/7 is actually net, which is a little bit less than half. So about 40% of what this actually makes, I get to keep those new modules. The rest have to go into seeds. Okay. Anyway, what were we doing? Oh yeah, we were working on algae poos, which seem to actually be running now. These might need to be red belts at some point, I'm not sure. We will also have stack size upgrades, which is worth pointing out. And, what's on here? Why do we just not have... the heck? Very odd. Like, flat out missing some, miners here? I don't understand that. Alright, I'll get that fixed. Okay, and then modules in those. And all together, that's going to be 18.9 plus like 4 more. 27. That is currently a fully stacked half of a yellow belt, but it won't be enough, I don't think, for the hugs we needed, right? How much flora did we need? Yeah, we need like 50 flora a second. Holy crap. Oh my god. The good news is we will be able to upgrade to a red belt, and that can support up to 45 items a second. And that's still not enough, but then we can also upgrade stack size. Whatever it's called. Belt something. Transport belt capacity. It's so annoying to me that this doesn't use the word stack anywhere in the title, and then the inserter hand capacity doesn't use, or sorry, it doesn't use the word hand or stack either. And it's like, what's the word? It's always capacity. Capacity is the word that ties it all together. Anyway, we'll be able to do one of these researches to get up to stack sizes of 4. And on a red belt, a stack size of 4 will then equate to 60 items a second on just one lane, which is amazing. And very helpful. And then we'll need to get AUG Mark 2s, and then we need to get AUG food supplied to over here, as well as the sap, which I need to set up. So let's set up the sap. Is there a reason to do sap? When do I get sap tree Mark 2, first of all? This research. So we can use sap tree Mark 2s. Where are they? That one. Okay. Sap extractors, sorry. And that's still 45 of them. Oh, jeez. Okay, yikes. That actually is a lot of sap, now that I get it. And it's a lot of modules. We're talking 90, 180 modules. 166 Augmark 2s. Yeah, this is no joke. 5 of those. I'm tempted to build them locally, because this right here is 64. And it's like, should I really move it on trains, or should I just build this over here? You know, like right there, or right in this corner, or right above Tritz, or next to nuclear. Nah, we'll probably expand nuclear. Feels like I could fit it in here, though, pretty easily. And then that still gives me speed. Like, I can literally go all the way up to that edge. I probably wasn't going to use this side for much. We can still expand manure if we need to. So that feels reasonable. Now, Sap Tree Mark 3, we do have 250 of them, so should be okay on that front. So yeah, let's go ahead and just paste that in, actually. So we'll just do this and leave a little bit of space, I guess. Sure that's powered up. And yeah, I mean, we don't need to do anything else. It's a pretty simple add-on here. Oh, well, hold on. This is going to pose one issue. It's fine. We like long belts here in Cridania. Now this has to come all the way around. Because the Aug food's definitely going to be imported on trains. How long is that belt? Oh, you know, just a solid 193 plus another 50. Yeah, just 250 units to go around all that. It's fine. And then the Aug food will be coming in here or something. And then this will have to be a red belt if I don't do any stacking of the sap. Feels easy enough to just stack it, though. Let's do that. Okay. And now we'll run this belt. This is kind of annoying because those roboports are going to probably get in the way, but we should now be able to just do a super force build as long as we hit on every building somewhere. I'm not making it consistent. Is this going to bite me in the butt later? It's very possible that it will. But for now, I say, screw it. That's kind of how we've done this whole Aug build, is expanding it with the screw it mentality, so I'm not going to stop now. Okay, then we need... Oh, shoot. These are too far away. Oh no, I brought those in on that side. Okay, we're fine. Never mind. I forgot we had a separate row of them. Yeah, full on... You know what? No. We can at least do this one with a consistent, like... Well, I say that, and then... There's a roboport in the way. Alright. So that gets us all of the... And that one doesn't. That gets us Aug food and... whatchamacallit? And then we need to actually make Aug food, which soon will be a logistics warehouse here. That's what we're going to change this into. And we're going to have bots flying all this crap around. We actually need a channel 1 like over here. So this one will be the logistics warehouse, which will help things out, and then we'll have a set of factories for Aug Food Mark 1. I don't know how many we'll need, but we'll start with like 3. I don't even have Aug Food researched. Or no, I guess I do. And we're going to need quality Aug Food. Which means casein is going to be needed. And that is affected by Okay, so we're going to want the Aug Turd before we start rolling for Mark IIs. Because that'll save us a crazy amount of resources to make the Aug Mark IIs. And then we're also going to want this research to get the Aug Paddocks Mark II eventually. And Vrauk Paddock Mark II will be nice. You know, maybe I'm overdoing this a little bit. Maybe we should murder some Vrauks. I'm having ideas. Because, like, we've got a big Vrauk build. I like big Vrauk builds and it cannot. It doesn't really work. Okay, sorry. That's just where my brain goes. I can't stop it. We've got a big Vrauk build here. It's capable of... I don't even know. What is it? It's capable of half a Vrauk a second, which is not a small amount. And for fairly small input, right? Like, this isn't that expensive. So that's half a brain a second I could be getting if I rendered these. It's one of those things where I have to ask myself, is it worth saving these resources that this is costing me or not? Would I rather just always be spending these and get the benefits of rendered Vrauks? And I don't totally know the answer, because the Vrauk food is some moss, and the cellulose is like some wood and a hydroxide, but like it's not very expensive. It's some seaweed, it is some Fawoji, but it's like not very much. It's some wood. You know, but when we look at the rate, we just saw that it was only 0.46 Vrauk food a second. So, like, I don't know. Would I just rather have the Vrauk and then I don't need as many Augs? The sap is less. It's more than what Augs cost, relatively, though. I guess the question is chitin. We do need chitin for some things. Eventually. I don't know if I need a lot of it now, though. Is that right? What am I doing? Trying to find chitin. Oh, it was already selected. So we need it for bioscaffolds, which I think become a thing that we need to make eventually for a bunch of this crap. But for now, I don't really need bioscaffolds. And we need it for chitosan. Need it for hyaline. Antiviral. Yeah, we need it for a lot of stuff, actually, eventually. And then the question, I guess, will become, do we want to do Vrauks for it or something else? Because Vrauks are only 1 chitin each. Also make chitin with bioscaffolds. Dilmos have 3 chitin each. So Dilmos could be good for that. That's triple the chitin. How expensive is a Dilmo? That's such a... That sounds like something you call somebody that you don't like. They're not very smart. You're such a Dilmo. Oh, that's a really funny word. Okay, so Dilmos need filtration media. Okay, and it is 1-to-1. 1 egg makes 1 cub. Also, this is a 3-stage process. That's not very standard. You go egg to cub with a ton of Ralasia seeds each. It's 4 Ralasia seeds per. And then you go from cub to Dilmo with phytoplankton. But then that gives you 3 chitin. From saline water, I'm going to call free. Though it is 100 saline water per Dilmo. That's still not very much, though. Because, like, if you imagine 1 Dilmo per second, that's still only 100 saline water per second. Ish. I guess 150. And then that's 25 saline water. 1 filtration media. I mean, Dilmos aren't cheap, but that represents 3 Vrauks worth of chitin. So, might be a good way to get it. And then there's Simics. Simics are also 3 chitin. I'm doubting they'll be cheap enough. Numals are 4 chitin. Those are pi 3. When were Dilmos? Dilmos are Chem. Simics are pi 3. Xenos are Prod. And that's it. But then again, yeah, there's those turds, right? And so the programmable speaker turd gives me way more chitin. I think I'll wait on choosing which animal turd I go with until we're somewhere in the maybe prod psi range and see what we're really lacking, and then we'll just pick one. Because some of them give you a lot more of certain stuff, you know, like the laser turret one, I forget what it gives you, but then the, you know, the other one's like literally doubling your chitin is huge at the cost of every 100 renderings you need 1 programmable speaker. It's not free, but close to free at that stage of the game, prod modules and stuff. Anyway, AUG food. We do have, but this isn't even the correct recipe, so it's like I don't want to get this all ready to go, but I will at least get the buildings built, and we'll get the, and I'll make 4. Steam, we should be able to do boiler here. This whole thing is spaghetti. I think I'm going to change it into entirely what should we call it? Entirely bots as I rebuild it. Okay, and then AUG food has, will it have spoilables with the new recipe? Yeah, it still has flora. Just cuts out the Ralasia animals, which is very nice. But it will still have flora, which means we will still need to trash unrequested, which will get rid of the flora from that. And then we will have to provide, I'll do it this way. And then any unwanted flora can come back on this, which has flora spalenin or biomass. Or biomass. Actually, that's not even what I want to do. What am I doing? What I wanted to do was this. Alright, there we go. And then I wanted another of these guys somewhere. And then we got power. Power. Power to the people. Power to the gamers. And then we'll have to turn all that into channel 1. Speaking of Ralasia, where are we at these days with this crap? Make 8 a second? That's pretty good. Especially because these aren't Mark II buildings. Am I even making enough hydrogen? Technically no. Literally not. Beacon will help with that. By the way, what do we even use sea sponges for these days? So let's see. What's happening here? These are running because we have not enough. What's the input of sea sponges on this? Ah, this belt. So once it backs up to here, then we stop. Good to know. Why are these running? Hold on. Why is this building? Is this just an infinite loop of wasting power? I bet it is. Get rid of that crap. Alright, back to Renea. I keep shirking my duties and going and doing other things. Alright, you still have enough seeds. This is not going quickly. This one's finally full, though. How many modules are there here? 4, this is 12, 24. These are 30 modules of building, so that's why it takes forever. Yikes. Do need to work on fuel rods and Bodos at some point. Why am I only getting 12 signs a minute? That feels slower than it should be. They're all running. Jeez. Oh, that is slow. Okay, we need some new projects. There was something I thought of between episodes, and I don't remember what it was as far as projects go. I can keep replacing trains. That's one good thing to do. Let's find a loco station here and deconstruct some oldies. Boom, boom, boom. We'll get rid of 3 fluids. And paste 3 fluids. Oh, well, no, that's thinking of the logistics. I just thought of the logistics again. Having to rebuild all the... Having to figure out the thing that requests the stuff from Channel 0 to then build it. It's going to be interesting. I could rebuild all the alloys to be over here. That's going to need to get done at some point. Ooh. Get this. Nextlet battery's almost backed up. How's Nextlet doing, by the way? We haven't checked on it in a while. It's fully backed up. Oh my goodness, what a feeling. What a feeling that is to have Molten Nextlet fully backed up. How cool. How cool is that? I could copy this one. What else have we not built? My research. Stuff. Bodos is on the list. Can start working on that. Multi-purpose pipes. And the AFH that goes with it. That would be a fast research if I want to do that. So I can turn glycerol into syngas. Just directly. That is interesting. Because the glycerol, we'll be getting a ton of that from the skin. And hydroxide. Or no, I'm getting rid of skin the other way. The middle processed lard. Never mind. Haven't done lead containers. I do need to make those at some point. In fact, don't I need those for the fuel rods? Maybe I should do that next. Maybe we work towards Bodos next. Did I ever rebuild fiberboard or starch? Or both or neither? I don't remember. Okay, lead containers are needed in fuel rods, so that's on the list. Are they needed in other places? Okay, hold on. I gotta pause and get more coffee. Lead containers are used in other places, so... That being said, that doesn't mean I need to make them in a different spot than fuel rods. 239 spoils in 400 hours, so I'm not worried about that. As long as I always use decayed first. Request a pretty small amount. So I do think I'll just make fuel rods and lead containers in the same spot. Okay. Enough. And what was I just gonna check? It was one of those things I just clicked through. Oh, I was gonna look at ethanol peroxide. We did do prod on that. Okay, good. And then something else that I just looked at that I've already lost track of. By the way, did this just finally stop because it hasn't? In fact, what's controlling all this? Oh, we just out of yellow cake. Okay. This is getting full. This is not good. I need to deal with this. We have way too much of the 242, I think is the one there. Yeah, 239 is the brighter one, and then there's the teal-ish one is the 241. So the 242, we need to start processing in this one. The problem is that gets us even more of the 241 and 239. So I guess we actually should be processing this one. Because that gets rid of some of the 242, some of the 241, and then it gets us more of the 240, which gets rid of, well, it gives us 240 and 239, which is the exact ratio. So it won't reduce the extra 239 that I have. Because this gives us a 239 and a 240, which immediately pair up and turn into another 242. So this just gets rid of all the 241, but I do think I need to make that. To have 1.3k plutonium peroxide buffered. Oh. So this building stops running if nuclear samples in the network are 50. But that would be on channel... Oh, that's reading content. Okay, so that should work either way. Alright, well, okay, so that's feeding all the 240. This is feeding up to 28. Why is it feeding up to 28? Why wouldn't it just feed to like 6? I don't understand why I did that. Hit first as well. And now we need to do another little row of these guys. And they're going to be the 242, 241 user uppers. This, and then Those just return directly to here. So we'll output same. And then we need some other logic. Control this, which on this one we're doing 241 and 242. I think I want to make this a little smarter. It's easy to do that by just having a decider combinator. And then we can do something like this. And then that just gets loaded in there. Actually, wait. How do I do this? Each less than 0, output 1 of each. Does that work? Yes, and then I do a combinator for the negative amount that I want. So I do need 2 combinators for this. Because now we say we want 240. Can you do this? No, that doesn't work. So now we say we want 241 and 242. Then we do like -10 of each. Or -4 of each even. Or -8 because they buffer 2 probably. They buffer 2 of each. And so then that will now output one of those signals as filters. Okay, set filters. And then you do the same thing, and then you have the same get up. Oop. Okay, that was maybe loud. That was... But then you're deciding based on these are the 2 that you want. They're not the droids you're looking for. Okay. And then we're setting the filters. Oh no. I have no idea what that was over there. What was this one doing? If red is 0? What the heck is going on here? Oh, this was saying we stop if we have at least 10 of each in there. Crap. Well, fine. Okay. Because that means we've got more of this processing to do. And these are slow. Now, are these affected by beacons? They're not, right? We already looked into this. I just am double checking. It's been a while since I... Cloud effects, speed, false. Yeah. But I think I did this right. So I think what this will do is basically just make sure until we have 8 of each type of this, the inserter will be filtered on those things. And this one's gonna do the 240 and 239. And then that needs to be powered up. That's inputting to that chest. That's inputting to that, or combinator. This is set on the recipe of 241 and 242. The problem is this is just going to get us more of what we want already. So this will get rid of 241 and 242 in equal quantities, which is 1.5 thousand versus 8,000. So we end up with a problem there, which is we still have 6.5 thousand of the 242. Now that's okay, because we do know that the double 242 gives us 239, which is nice because that's also what we need for fuel rods. So for fuel rod purposes, this is actually kind of in a good spot, which is what we're going to work on. But I'm going to get some more coffee. I'll be right back. Why are these not getting built? Is it literally just the auto... So I just said I'd be right back and I lied. Is it just the auto mall doesn't make sap extractors? Alright. Okay, now I'll be right back. Alright. And we're back. So, part of the problem is I don't have any idea how many photos I need. Throw Bodos into a mod chain here. And deal with this looks like. Probably not 5 a second. Let's see what 1 a second. Oof, even that's 26 of the... And these are really expensive, if I'm remembering correctly. For whatever reason. Yeah, they are. Holy crap. They require an entire breeder reactor each. These costs are kind of like a slap in the face. It's like, oh look, and then some random stuff. Okay, so we're gonna have to start a lot smaller than this. Let's say 0.2. And the spores are basically, you know, cheap slash free slash easy at this point. Also, it shows productivity 0, but don't we have the... Am I making it? The microfilters... Oh, does it not affect Bodos spores? The next one does. It doubles them. Which we can already research. And I can already make tier 2 Bodos culture as well, which I should. Okay. So we should plan for that. What about 0.5? 4? Yeah, that's about right. And then... I don't know if I can emulate having that research done. So I just know that I'll need half as many. I mean, apart from the fuel rods, it's basically free. The tiny amount of improved fungal substrate is just nothing, right? So the real cost here is just fuel rods. And the lead containers that contain them. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. We just need to make this, and we can beacon it, and then that's going to be the fuel rods we need for the Bodos. And those fuel rods can also... Typing fuel rod doesn't find it. They can be burned in an RTG. Oh, that's a long time in the future. Alright. They used to do more... They changed a lot around fuel rods. Fuel rods used to do a lot of different things than this. I don't remember what all it did, because I never got that far in the game, but I do know that the nuclear stuff and all of that was very different. But yeah, I'm just gonna need to import these 6 solids and then call it a day. Nothing crazy. Where do I want to build that? Doesn't really matter. We did say we were wanting to expand more to the west, so maybe I should do a little build over here. Sure. This feels like a good weak side build. It's not going to be that huge. So this is kind of a perfect spot for it. And we need... let's see. Antimony, iron niobium alloy, aramid, graphite, and plutonium-239. Alright, let's chill. Lead, antimony, alloy. Boom, boom, boom. 22 stacks. What's the rate on all this? It's actually pretty high on iron niobium. These are expensive. And graphite. So let's go up to like 24 maybe on antimony. And then on iron niobium, we need quite a bit. Be like 32. And then aramid should be 3 stacks. Graphite. Like 32 stacks. I kind of got 12 minutes on that, and I'm going with 12 minutes on all the other things. And then 12 minutes of plutonium is only going to be like 2 stacks. So, yeah, is this 200 minutes? This feels like a lot of 239 to buffer. I think what I'll do is just do like a 10 stack threshold on these. And then this is going to be fuel rod. Oh. Fueled rod? No. Fuel rod R. Fuel rod Mark 1. I should say fuel rod 1. Because there's a 2, and a 3, and a 4. And a 2, and a 3, and a 4. Alright, anyway, beacons will make probably like 3 buildings enough for whatever we need in the future. Then we'll just need one of these guys, and then I need to make them tier 1 for now. And right, the other 3 go left. This is a very chill build. Light. Lead containers go over. We will also split them off because they go into other things later. Though how much later? Coated containers in py3, iron nanotubes also in py3, zinc oxide nanoparticles in prod, and Mark III fuel rods in prod. So I'm not going to worry about that for now. I can put that on trains another day. Another day, another dollar. Oh, I guess actually, wait a second. Did I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 things. We did not get that right. All right. So the graphite and the plutonium will go on that one. And we're going to load the plutonium separately onto the far side, which means the inner will be the graphite. Because that way we can do decayed first. And then the aramid will go on one of these, and then the iron niobium and lantimony will go on the other. And then that all works out, and then we need power for these inserters on this side. And then we just gotta provide the fuel rods here, and we're gonna get a rate of a stack every 5 minutes, which is 12 stacks an hour, so that's not too bad. And I will actually let that buffer for this whole chest. So I think I'm happy with this build. And I can speed module. This is so slow. Like, it's, if I automated it properly to where the used the bots to put the modules in, it might be a little faster. Because then they'd actually keep up, but the problem is it's only happening when I manually do it. It just requires a lot of back and forths is the problem here. More so than anything else. Anyway. Where was I? Ah, yes, fuel rods. Okay, so fuel rods. I think we're done. Are we literally done? Minus some of the filters. I think so. I'm a bit concerned about lantimony and iron niobium alloy not. Okay, and I think that's because I don't actually have 2,000 of them buffered. Is that correct? Is that accurate? That is accurate. All right, so that's as good a time as any. That's how that sentence actually goes. To rebuild our alloys. Now, smelters are or are not affected by beacons. This is an important question. It says effect. Receiver prototype uses beacon effects. True. Allowed effects. Everything. Okay. So we can beacon them, which means I'm not going to need as many. And we'll have tier 2. So we should be able to add in... I will do another... regular strong side request here. Apparently I made multiple mistakes. There's a requester. This is actually not gonna connect anymore, so I need that, and then that. And then this one should be fine. But this one is gonna have to squiggle like that. Okay. And then we've got 3 buildings for lantimony. We need a building for iron niobium alloy, and then we need... Oh, iron niobium versus iron nexolite. I was getting those mixed up. Iron nexolite or niobium is a lot faster. And which of these have other... This is the other thing. Some of these have, yeah, moltens. Iron niobium gets a molten in the near-ish future. So I shouldn't rebuild that one. But I don't think iron nexolite ever gets... Yeah, iron nexolite never gets a redo. And neither does intermetallics, which is used in everything. So... And intermetallics can be prodded. I haven't been prodding it. And vitrolloy... Okay, so I need to... What am I getting at here? So I think that's going to be lead antimony, but that means I need to bring molten lead. Okay, this has been a quickly expanding job over here. Okay, so iron niobium is going to have a molten version, which will go over here. But then we also need vitroloi and iron nexalate to make intermetallics, all of which are going to need to go over there, as well as duralumin eventually. We're going to need all the moltens. So I'm going to need more fluid requesters. We've got no spares, and this is a provider. So we're going to need another fluid requester. And that could do a few. It's still not going to be enough. I'll probably do a second one. And then another provider of some sort. I'm going to finally bump this up to enough to fill a train. Okay. And then I'm going to need more RoboPort too. Okay. So, I was thinking these could be the lantimonies. And then these could be the iron niobiums eventually. Which will be this version. And then those are super fast. Look at that, 3.75 a second. So that's not going to be a problem speed-wise, but I will need to request molten iron and niobium complex. And then for intermetallics being made here, we're going to need a whole nother set for Phoenix, which has no other way to make it and is used mostly in equipment chassis, intermetallics, and shafts. I guess later there's a tracker that only goes in buildings. So yeah, it's mostly just used in those. And intermetallics, forget, do these only go in buildings? Or do we use intermetallics in something that goes into science? At least so far, I'm not seeing anything that isn't a building or a one-time thing. I don't think intermetallics goes into science. I'm missing it. Interesting. So I guess the question is, do I really need to expand it then? I guess brakes go into science through mechanical parts. So vitroloi goes into science, and this goes into science via equipment chassis, but the intermetallics themselves don't really go into science. But yeah, all this to say, I'm just trying to think about like how much Phoenix we're gonna need here, because these buildings are just slow and there's no really great way to speed them up by a ton. So we're just gonna need probably 6 of them for now with speed modules or something. And then beacons. And then on top of that, we're going to need vitroloi, which does not have an alternative recipe either. I don't know how much vitroloi we'll need, but I might as well make 3 for them. And then finally, those can turn into intermetallics. Here. So yeah, this is kind of a... it'll be a work in progress. We're not going to do it all right now. So we've got the 2 fluid requesters. I think it's time for a multi-provider now. Which I won't parameterize yet. And then we'll do another requester. Probably go both directions. So it'll feed. This one will feed the Lantimony. This will feed maybe the Phoenix. And then I'll do another. Do a strong side request. I'll do another fluid. I don't know. I'm just trying to space things out nicely. Then I'll do another requester. Side request. And then finally I'll do a provider. If that isn't enough to get it all figured out at some point, then I don't know what is. And I don't even need to get this all set up right now. It's just kind of for the long term. Because we're going to need a lot more stuff. So, like this needs molten lead as the first thing that we don't have. That's a crap ton of lead. Am I okay with 50,000? You do blow through it pretty fast. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. And then we will always have fuel be the whatchamacallit, the one that's actually touching the building. Here. Alright. And then the molten lead will attach this, yeah, here, and let's try to not have that hydrogen chloride issue again where we corrupted the entire fuel network with, well, that was fun. Alright, and then we're gonna need antimony oxide, which do I already have if for one of these? Surely I do, right? No? Antimony didn't go into any of these? That's, no, it does go into this one. Okay, there we go. So I could probably steal antimony from there. Yeah, I actually can. Because I could just put it on this one. Split that off. And it even works out. No, it actually doesn't work. I'm gonna say it worked out perfectly on the other side of the belt. Alright, so 10 to the right. Does that say chromium on it? Oh, because it sees ahead that the chromium's on that belt. Okay, that's fine. And then this will be antimony oxide on the other side. And then that will come along here. And then we can output our antimony. Cool. That should do it for Lantimony. And this is a 144 stack, which if we split that, that's 32 stacks apiece for 4 items. So it's not unreasonable for me to want to bring in Lantimony right here. And then this will be lead antimony alloy. Say 4,000. So we've got 6, 8.5, 12.5, and that fits. Should do it. Lead antimony's officially improved on trains as soon as I put molten lead onto trains, which it's not. Now, why are these? These should all be running. We got problems, folks. We got problems. This is jammed up with ash. Ash isn't supposed to be on this belt at all. This is feeding ash somewhere it's not supposed to go. Right, Axe, what did you do? What did I do? How did ash... Okay, no, that's what was supposed to happen. That was the extra tin. I guess there's just a different ash belt? What's the ash belt? Is it this one? I don't know anymore. Is this belt the one that's made to handle ash? I thought they were all made to handle ash. Are they not? Oh, this one's the ash belt. Ah, crap. Well, so I guess we needed a sorting of, or a filtering of ash here. And then I probably should just upgrade this ash belt too. Ash belt, ash, upgrade, upgrade. It's always a fun journey. Upgrading your old belts. I'm so thankful for upgrade planners. It's things like that that make Factorio playable. Like, this is the kind of thing that's so grindy and tedious in a game like Satisfactory. And then in a game like Factorio, it's just so easy. Like, done. That's so nice. Wow, logistics warehousing already finished? Holy crap. Nice. Okay, anyway, so that should fix part of the issue, but I need to go dig out the ash rest. Like, how do I not... I'm so confused. This produces 4 Renea. Where did all the seeds go? I'm missing... Oh, that belt is backwards. There's a few of them. Are they all backwards? Or just that one? Just that one, it seems. Interesting. But I must have just done that. I must have just made that mistake and accidentally hit R on something. Because otherwise, this building would never have made it either. So that must have been an accidental click. Accidental R press. In any case, we got the research finished. Okay, so back to what I was doing, which was lead related. Oh yeah, we need to actually go over there. War is completely stocked up, which is nice to see. And we'll go down here. And now I can work on the Automall stuff in the next episode. I'm guessing it will take the whole episode to reconfigure that stuff, if not more. It's gonna be a long journey. Journey indeed. Alright, what's going on? So... It was... Wait, where's the thing? It stopped up. Alright, so this shouldn't have ash on it at all. And this, I'm gonna say, does have Z's there. so that way it can fill both sides of the belt. Okay, take the ash out of that. And then that will slowly get upgraded to red belts. I guess the thing I always have to check these days is all of this under bot coverage? It might not be. I guess it is. And there's no gaps from this, south, east, and all of that. Okay. That should fix it. Let's get rid of this ash. By the way, the tin smelting, what was it doing with that? Is that... I haven't even looked into tin 3 yet, right? I don't think we've looked into any of this. Just remember adding this because we needed more tin. Yeah. In fact, we're still out of tin? Holy crap. We are. I've consumed an extra 16k in the last 50 hours. Well. Oh, it was stopped up. That's part of the problem too. I wonder how long we were stopped up here. Gosh. 2.5 hours on tin? That's not good. How many units? 2,000, 12,000. So that's about the 24,000 that we're missing. Yep. Okay, that explains it. What about lead? Molten lead. Yep. 2.5 hours. Everything's been stopped up for 2.5 hours. That's so bad. That's very bad news. Also, this thing's almost full. Also bad news. And for what it's worth, this needs to have red connections. Learned that. That's a separate thing now. So gravel's not getting eaten. I guess it will when it gets to 4,000, right? Are these not big enough? Not big enough for this many item types. Because the problem is we could get, now that we have 40 stack size trains, we might need 40 of each of these on top of the 30, which is 70 of each of these, before things are getting got rid of, which means 350 stacks. So technically it's still not big enough because we have 5 item types. So this will guarantee we won't get jammed up on stack sizes. Because yeah, this is coming to get 40 stacks. Well, it's not, but stone final trash should be grabbing 40 stacks. Oh, it is. It is. Good. All right. I love how fast those trains are. Look at how zippy they are. Zooming around everywhere. Okay, let's go put a couple more Renea in, and then I think we'll probably be done with the episode. We got fuel rods built. We have done a lot of groundwork for alloy rebuilding, which was a bad timing because we also found out that a lot of our metals haven't been running for 2.5 hours. So doing that at the same time as requesting more alloys is going to pose, I think, some issues. I'm just going to get more seeds made here so that we can run more in a row without having to babysit everything. it does finally feel like we're starting to get something like this. I thought we'd finish it in this episode, but that was very wrong. I do think if we had automated it fully, we'd at least be close to done. We probably would have 4 buildings. Okay, there we go. So now these are both going to run twice more. And I'm going to put half probably. Now, did this have enough? No, okay. I didn't know if it had tried to start a recipe, but like hadn't because it didn't have them on. All right, and then yeah, so in the next episode, we're going to be working on rebuilding a lot of the auto mall, which is going to be pretty painful. We're definitely going to expand our train stuff up a little bit. So I'll go ahead and preemptively get another Wester here. Like that. We're not going to do this. We're not even going to do that. I'll leave it for now, I guess. That's going to be a logistic shed or whatever. And then we're just going to go full ham on like this whole zone will be the auto mall. So we'll be using both sides. We'll have a row of, you know, assemblers here that we can beacon, a row of assemblers over here. I don't know. I mean, I might leave this the way it is for now and I'll slowly just build out over here. Because we've already got this set up, you know, and we can just copy more columns. And then once we have the tier 2 logistics bots, it will solve a lot of the logistics bot issues because, you know, 280 has been sufficient and the tier 2 bots will be moving twice as fast and carrying 5 instead of 3, I think. Yeah, their cargo capacity is 5. So that means they'll have almost quadruple the throughput per bot once their speed's upgraded again as well. And we even get a cargo capacity upgrade at Pi 3 as well. Oh, that applies to construction bots too? Oh, that's huge! They'll finally be able to carry 2 items at a time, so when I'm like unloading train fuel, they won't have to send 180 bots to pick up 180 items. That will be a huge boost in Pi 3 for our construction bots. Anyway, I digress. Utility boxes. No tin cable, huh? Now that doesn't seem right. And it isn't. Oh, yeah, we're out of tin. Okay, that is right. And then the next question is about advanced castings. How close is that? Oh, we're there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to build... Gosh, I have so many things I want to do, because now I'm going to build the auto mall to be ready to import these items directly rather than make them here. I will be doing the advanced castings. Probably in the auto mall section, right? Because this is where a lot of them get consumed, but then I also need to provide them on trains. So, and that needs a lot of different molten metals. No, I think I'll just request those items on trains. The tier 2 trains mixed with tier 2 loaders, you know, moving, what is that, 120 items a second? 30, no, it's 90 currently, so then it would be 180 items a second. Yeah, I think we'll be fine to just import stuff like tin cable and stuff. to a giant warehouse. So that's what we'll do. So we'll do advanced castings in a different location, which does mean I need to set up do we have any arcads doing the wax from honey? I don't even remember what I decided. One I like. Did I like the wax from honey from Ulrich's, or did I like the wax from bitumen? Did I pick? I don't know if I picked. I kind of liked them both. Because, like, once we have, like, tier 2, you know, I mean, imagine tier Mark 2 Ulrichs. Like, we're talking about such a tiny amount of Ulrich action here. Such a tiny amount of Navens. Like, the cost here is so insignificant. The only cost that's even almost existing, because these are going to be a joke, you know, once I'm doing, like, the billions of AUGs for Vat Brains. So those are nothing. And it uses less extra apiaries than the bitumen route. The only thing that is, I guess, sort of a cost would be the food, but even that, like, look at this. 0.05. No, this is nothing. This costs us nothing. So I think I'm going to go this route. It adds a tiny bit of extra strain to our arcads, but not a lot. Most of the strain on arcads is... the only strain it adds to arcads is this, the honeycomb making, which is this line right here. So this line will be slightly more strained. But we can also upgrade this recipe probably whenever we want. I don't know if I have it researched, though. Yeah, we haven't researched it yet, but once we do... Ooh, it's gonna be a while, though. I should keep that in mind. Anyway, it just uses a few more of these. Now, that being said, why are all of these running? These make 37 a minute. How many honeycombs have I actually been making? Only about half that. Okay. They just run in spurts. So I'm fine. I have extra here. Which means I have extra for wax castings. Which means for the wax castings, which I guess is the last thing I'll do in this episode, and then we'll actually be done. Even have enough to start running this building. Perfect. Okay, now we're getting somewhere with these stupid things. Anyway, the wax castings, we said... What did I just said? Why am I even doing wax again? Oh, because we're just full on out of brains. A train must have just stopped by. And we're completely backed up on bones. Yikes. Alright. We got problems. Throughput, trashing is not keeping up. Is this not requesting bones? It is. Wait, now I'm confused. Okay, now I'm confused, though. This is asking for bones. Why is it not getting bones? Oh, I might have screwed something else up. Providing. Because this should be... Yeah, see, it doesn't have enough space for bones because it's so full of skin. Still not exactly sure what's going on, though. The thing I'm going to do is upgrade these. So why is skin not being requested? then the next question, which is answered by, because we can't get rid of the Drakian skin we already have. Okay, yeah, it's just trashing all this crap. It's too much. Can't handle it. We literally can't handle it all. We're trying, and we can't. Okay, good to know. We'll be working on that in the next episode, too. That's gonna be causing problems. So anyway, the thing I was gonna do was add into our arcade build the ability to turn the honey barrels into wax barrels, which... Oh, what is going on here? Wait a second. Are these productivitying on combs? Wait. They are. Wait. I never clocked that. That's gonna cause problems, actually, eventually. So when we run... Because remember, this was all comb neutral, right? Like, we'd get a used comb, and then we'd turn it into wax, and then we'd turn the wax back into an empty honeycomb. And that was this forming process, where each comb is 10 wax. We get 3 honeycombs, the 5 honeycombs make the 5 used combs, and the 5 used combs make the 50 wax. But when we took the arcade, or Vrouk turd, that gives it 15% productivity. Now I'm making an extra 7.5 wax on every loop of this. Which is actually bad? Or good? I don't know. It's both. So... What about the cages? Are the cages a problem too? Or are those ignored by productivity? Okay, those are ignored by productivity. The combs not being ignored by productivity is interesting. So now the question becomes, is my standard arcade consumption enough to provide the wax we need without adding more honey to wax direct conversion? We are creating honey barrels right here, so I can always supplement wax with that. There's some complicated stuff going on with wax. We need to review this, actually. So this build was originally created... What else? We also get used combs back from this. But it's not enough, right? Like the 2 arcade nests giving us 1 used comb isn't enough. Doesn't 1 arcade nest cost a comb? Yeah. So this is comb negative, right? Yeah, it is. So then, how was I making wax up till now? Oh, okay, I do already have it set up. This is my top up for wax. Okay, so I just need more of these, is all. And we need to break down... Yeah, see, currently we can't backflow this. That's the problem. We're topping up into this, but then I need to overflow out of this back into the main wax loop, and even into train wax, which I guess I can put here. So this will be train wax, which we will just squiggle to over here, or here where I can access it. And then that's gonna have to be some sort of crazy system, because this is the wax. We need to have a little bit of a buffer to make the honeycombs. We already have some honeycombs buffered though too, which is kind of nice. So that should all be fine. And there's some buffered on that, so plenty of buffer there. This just consumes all of the combs. So then we need some sort of measure. I think an overflow valve is... I don't think we need to measure this. We can just overflow extra wax past a certain point. So I think I can just put a tank here. Connected to this. So that means we're still 10% topping up. We shouldn't need to, though, because this is now wax positive. I never need to input to this. I can delete this part entirely. And then this is a one direction. And then this doesn't exist. So now this is a self-sufficient wax loop. Because the only reason I would need new wax is to increase the amount of these on the loop. Because they are 100% self-contained, even without the productivity. You go 5 to 5, 5 to 50, 50 to 5, 5 to 5. There's no loss anywhere. So because there's no loss anywhere, I don't need anything fancy here. I just needed buffers. But then the productivity means that we're actually gaining more wax, so we will only have output wax from this. So then we just need the overflow from this guy. Now moved like here. So this guy will now overflow at 90%, so we'll keep 9,000 wax back. More than enough. I should overflow at like 70%, 6,000 wax. That's enough for 600 combs. Yeah, that's plenty. So then that overflows into our kind of internal wax storage, which will be here. And this internal wax storage will connect with the main wax line, which is being topped up to, we'll say, 10% only by this thing running. And what is it measuring even? It's measuring the amount in there. Let's just have it run constantly, because that's going to a top up anyway. So I'm fine with whatever buffers we with. Use up some honey here. And then, and we're probably going to need more than one of these buildings, but now that I know we're getting free wax from this stuff too, we might not. Actually, no. That's a ton of wax built up here already, which is a separate point. But anyway, so now this is the wax that causes us to get to make empty combs, which is unfortunately not making enough. 100 wax only makes 8, so we lose some there. Rather than 10. Not to mention we lose some on the actual arcade production, because we only get 1 used comb back from a cost of 2 original combs. Alright, now why am I doing wax here? Oh, it's just the same recipe, but from a different source of used combs. Okay, that doesn't really matter, but this will always get used up first, so that's why there's a top up here. Is because we need a little bit of space in this area for using up this used comb stuff. Yeah. And then those are the combs that get consumed to make the arcade nests, which are not done in Vraux. So those are not productive. And those are 1 Vrauk plus 1 comb makes 1 nest. 1 nest makes 1 used comb for this process, for the queens. But for the arcads themselves, we do lose wax. So we shouldn't end up with positive wax in that. So now, finally, we need an overflow here. Here's the tricky part. We always want to have enough for our arcads. So we want to top up to like 2,000 using the honey method. Then we have a bunch of gap where we're storing up wax that's getting recycled but needing to be used for empty combs. Then from there, there's an overflow. So like 20%, and then we go to 90%, which means this needs to be spaced out with a pump. Like that. So that way, when we have extra, then that gets pressurized into this. May not be necessary because this would fill to 100 eventually, but anyway, that'll get pressurized, filled into this, which then if we have a full 9,000, then we can go output to the rest of the base's wax. Okay, I think that's all correct. Let me know in the comments if you spotted any conceptual mistakes here. I should have probably more of these. I don't think I need them yet, though. But we should be able to get advanced casting rolling this way. Because, yeah, this only makes about 100 wax a minute. That might be enough, honestly, for the amount of advanced castings I need right now. But I think I did all this correct. Again, let me know if I didn't. There should be a gap from 2,000 wax in here to 9,000 wax. That allows for all these used combs to fill up here. And this will always use up that 2 to 9,000 amount first. And then if we use up more than that, which we will, this won't provide enough, then we're using up this guy. The additional honey wax. Oh, but then that's not ever outputting the honey wax to trains. No, I screwed this up. Yeah, okay. So now the problem is we're not using the honey wax to ever go to trains. We're only using this wax. And this wax might not even be enough to support its own self. I bet it is, actually, though. What did we say it was? It was an extra... So for every 30, well, but it's really going to be 33, 34 and a half maggots, we're getting an extra 7.5 wax. So we get an extra 7.5 wax for every 5 or 6 arcad nests. Actually, I think that's not enough. So what that means is this needs to run and output to the base eventually. So now I need another buffer. The honey will run, pop up this one to 20, but then past that, eventually, it will output to the base as well. I feel like I could have been more efficient with one of these connections somewhere, but I'm pretty sure this works. Because now we're always guaranteeing that the honey wax will build up for a while, and then support the base however it needs to be supported if we need it, but only if we need it. We might not need it for a while because of all these. But we will eventually, I think, need it. And then, so it will be supporting here as needed, but then the the extra past 8,000 will go to the base, to advanced castings. But then this can also go to advanced castings if for some reason the ratios work out that way. Okay, definitely going to call it an episode now. As always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next one.